Impact of tax, point where the burden of tax is ultimately felt and can't be transferred elsewhere. Income tax assessee, customer, a buyer. The incidence and impact of tax is on the same person, not on the same person. Note, above table's deeper interpretation also involves how burden is shifted from seller to buyer. But we'll not waste time learning its graph a PhD. Hashtag 20.8.2 types of taxes, progressive vs regressive vs proportional type of tax. Example: proportional if Gov had a single 10% flat rate direct tax on income irrespective of whether you're poor, middle class, upper middle class, or rich person. Then each taxpayer's same proportion of income, 10%, will go into taxes. Progressive, northeast arrow. 5%, 20%, 30% income tax slabs depending on your income. Thus, richer the person, bigger proportion of his income will go into taxes. Thus, direct taxes are progressive in nature. Term, digressive tax. It is a blend of progressive tax and proportional tax. If a direct tax increases up to a point, and after that limit, a uniform rate is charged 5-5-10-10-10. So, it's partly proportional because tax rate remains unchanged even if income increases. Raised hand, but further PhD, hair splittery not rec on this term. If MCQ asks then ANS equals income tax is progressive tax, regressive, northeast arrow. 18% GST on biscuits worth 100 Indian rupees equals 18 Indian rupees paid as indirect tax. When Mukesh Ambani buys one packet, and a poor man buys one packet, greater proportion of poor man's income is gone in taxes. Thus, indirect taxes are regressive in nature. MCQ. Which one of following is a progressive tax structure? UPSC CDS 2015-2 A. Tax rate is the same across all incomes. B. Tax rate increases as income increases. C. Tax rate decreases as income increases. D. Each household pays equal amount of tax. Black question mark ornament MCQ. Which of the following was not advocated by Adam Smith? UPSC CDS 2019-1 A. Canon of equality. B. Canon of certainty. C. Canon of convenience. D. Canon of fiscal adequacy. Black question mark ornament MCQ. Find correct statements. UPSC CDS 2016-1 1. Ability to pay principle of taxation holds that taxes people pay should relate to their income or wealth. 2. The benefit principle of taxation states that individuals should be taxed in proportion to the benefit they receive from government programs. 3. A progressive tax takes a larger share of tax from poor families than it does from rich families. 4. Indirect taxes have the advantage of being cheaper and easier to collect. Answer codes: A. 1 and 3 only. B. 2 and 4 only. C. 1, 2 and 4 only. D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Black. Direct taxes of union gov. Asterisk means abolished of state gov. On income, corporation tax, minimum alternate tax, MAT. MAT. Income tax on income except agri. Capital gains tax, CGT. Crossmark asterisk dividend distribution tax, DDT. 1. Agriculture income tax. 2. Professional tax, constitutional ceiling of max 2,500 Indian rupees per year. On assets, transactions. Securities transaction tax, STT, and commodities transaction tax, CTT. Crossmark asterisk wealth tax. Crossmark asterisk banking cash transaction tax. Crossmark asterisk estate duty. 1. Land revenue. 2. Stamp or registration duty. 3. Property tax in urban areas. On expenditure. Crossmark asterisk hotel receipt tax, asterisk gift tax. Crossmark asterisk fringe benefit tax, i.e. when the employer give benefits to employee apart from salary, e.g. subscription to gymkhana or golf club. Hashtag road tax, although debatable. As in some states, a categories of vehicles the seller will collect and submit. FAQ. How much money collected from these taxes? ANS, REF, Pillar 2A2, GST handout. 2. Promote civic consciousness, since citizen directly feels the pinch of tax. 3. To black up arrow savings and investment, income tax deduction for exemptions on NPS, LIC, etc. 4. Elasticity, as public's income level black up arrow, then tax revenue black up arrow. 5. Certainty, when and how to pay IT. 6. Can black down arrow volatility in international currency exchange rates by imposing Tobin tax, more in pillar number 3. 1. Externality, not counted. Academic books, author versus film star promoting cigars, 30% income tax on both. 2. Hardship not counted. Working carpenter, 5%, vs sleeping landlord, 5%, 3. High level of direct tax equals laziness, less foreign investment. 4. Narrow base, poor people not covered. If we try, then very large income tax staff will require to supervise over poor people. 5. Prone to litigation and loopholes, tax evasion, avoidance. More in hashtag 2B, black money. 21.2 Union tax, cess and surcharge. Any union tax computed on taxable income, profit, transaction goes to consolidated fund of India later divided between union and states as per the Finance Commission formula. Except if IGST, divided on GST Council's formula. Batch, PCB7, Mrunal economy pillar hashtag. Surcharge. Computed on tax amount. So, it is a tax on tax. This will also go to CFI. Surcharge is not shared with states using Finance Commission formula. Some of the cess money will invisibly go to states as a part of scheme implementation. E.g. Pradhan Mantra Faisal Bima premium share, etc., but that depends on discretion of union. GST compensation cess is shared with states as per GST Council formula. Explained in the GST segment of next handout. 21.2.1, cess PE FAQ and PhD FAQ. Why does Gov Levi cess a surcharge? Why is Finance Commission kept out of it? ANS. So ruling party at union can use money for their favorite schemes without having to share the money with states. FAQ. Is it compulsory that every tax must have cess and surcharge on it? Not compulsory. Depends on Gov's mood of discretion. FAQ. Is cess applicable only on direct taxes or on indirect taxes? Some of them applicable on direct taxes. Some of them applicable on indirect taxes. Cess examples applicable on health and education, cess levied on direct taxes, such as income tax, corporation tax. Health, cess levied on customs duty on imported medical devices, agriculture infrastructure, and development, cess levied on customs duty on some products, levied on excise duty on some products. Road and infrastructure, cess levied on excise duty on petrol. Diesel GST compensation, cess levied on GST on some products, e.g. Vimugatka, cars, etc. FAQ. Batch, PCB. ANS, different. Observe table given above. FAQ. I 500 other doubts. ANS. Not important for UPSC exam. Hashtag. 21.2.2, direct tax cess. Pradhan Mantra Swasthya Suraksha Nidhi, PMSSN. Gov levies 4% health and education cess on direct taxes, such as income tax and corporation tax. 2021 March. Gov created a new non-lapsable fund under public account. What is non-lapsable fund? Ref, pillar hashtag 2D. This fund will receive from above cess. Health Ministry will use this money for more in pillar hashtag 601, Ayushman Bharat, and its sub-schemes like PMJ, 5L Health Insurance, 02, Pradhan Mantra Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, setting up AIMS-like institutions in every state and upgrading government medical colleges. 03, National Health Mission, NHM, 04, health emergencies like Corona. 21.3, direct tax corporation tax. Figure 1. Also known as corporate income tax, CIT, it's levied on company's profit, under the Income Tax Act, 1961. Technically called net income, but we are not here for CA exams pedantry. Table 2. Corporation tax rates before 2019 September 25% if Indian company's turnover is up to 400 crore Indian rupees, 30% if Indian company's turnover is higher than 400 crore Indian rupees, 40% foreign company's profit from India, additionally X% surcharge amount on above corporation tax amount, depending on the company's turnover. Additionally 4% health and education cess on above corporation tax plus surcharge. 21.3.1, corporation tax cut in 2019 September since Indian corporate sector was facing a slowdown. Nirmala.s announced tax cuts. Corporation tax before after existing Indian companies at 25 to 30% depending on turnover, 22% tax plus 10% surcharge on a tax. Corporation tax before after plus 0 to 12% surcharge depending on profit plus 4% health edu cess. plus 4% cess on tax plus surcharge equals 25.17% new Indian MFG company registered from the 1st of October 2019 onwards. But they must start manufacturing by the 31st of March 2024. 15% plus surcharge and cess as given above equals 17.01% foreign companies profit from India 40% plus surcharge plus cess. No change zero tax companies 18.5% MAT 15% MAT. Related topics, Laffer curve, tax elasticity etc. in 2B, black money handout. 21.3.2, corporation tax. Announcements in last few budgets, budget 2020, if a sovereign wealth fund, ref pillar #1C, invest in Indian infrastructure projects tax holiday for them. E.g. Abu Dhabi Investment Authority budget 2021 tax holiday for developers of affordable housing till the 31st of March, 2022. Meaning 0% corporation tax on builders' profit. Budget 2022 small technical reforms. Nothing exam worthy. FAQ. What is the meaning of tax holiday? ANS. You'll not have to pay tax for X years. 21.3.3, raise 10 corporation tax. Exemption from audit for small companies. Audit is a systematic and scientific examination of the balance sheet, accounts books, financial transactions. Audit is done by an independent person known as auditor. By default, companies with turnover above 1 crore Indian rupees need to present their audited accounts to the Gov. 1. Budget 2021. If the company carries out 95% of their transactions digitally, they'll be exempted from the audit requirement if their turnover up to 10 crore Indian rupees. 10. Benefit. 1. No need to hire auditors. Black down pointing double triangle tax compliance burden for the company. 2. Black up pointing double triangle digital transaction. Black down pointing double triangle scope for tax evasion and black money. Batch. 21.3.4, corporation tax on startups. Figure 2. IT debt. Startup is a company not older than 10 years and not having turnover more than 100 CR and is doing innovation in goods or services. Services. Gov helps them through Startup India scheme, more in Pillar 4B. Startup can claim 100% deduction, equals tax holiday, on its profits, for 3 years out of the first 10 years of registration incorporation. Related concepts, angel tax, more in Pillar #2B, black money. 21.4, equalization levy, a Google tax. Figure 3. Server. IT debt. If a foreign company makes profit in India, they have to pay 40% corporation tax. If an Indian businessman purchases digital advertisement slots in Google AdSense, Facebook equals those foreign digital ads companies are making profit. But earlier, Google or Facebook did not pay tax on that profit, claiming their business activity of displaying digital ads is done outside India on global servers. So, Budget 2016 imposed tax on such income or fees of foreign digital advertisement companies. Officially called Equalization Levy, EQL, unofficially nicknamed Google Tax, /Digital Service Tax, DST. It's not part of income tax or corporation tax under the Income Tax Act 1961, but is separately imposed by the Finance Bill, Act 2016. Foreign company can't escape it, saying we are protected under double taxation avoidance. Agreement, DTAA. In our home country. More in Pill #2B, black money. Table 3, raised hand. Further operational guidelines, no TIMP. Not here for C.A. Exam budget 2016, 6% equalization levy on foreign digital advertisement companies, e.g. Google's AdSense, Facebook digital ads. Budget 2020, 2% equalization levy on foreign companies engaged in e-commerce, selling goods and services to Indian residents. G. Microsoft or Adobe selling digital softwares on their site, digital subscription to Indian residents, e.g. Netflix. Batch, PCB. Corona crisis. Foreign companies kept requesting Indian Gov to defer tax filling dates and reduce tax percent. But Indian Gov not giving them relief. 2021, India and USA working on a deal to phase out equalization levy under global minimum tax regime. More in Pillar #2B, black money. Related terms, 1. Significant economic presence, SEP. Concepts basically means if a foreign company is making money from Indians through digital ads or streaming services, e.g. Netflix videos from overseas servers, then the company has SEP in India, therefore, Indian Gov has powers to tax it. Budget 2020 made some technical changes into it. But poor cost, benefit chasing it for MCQs. 2. OECD used to phrase tax challenges of digitization to denote above problems where digital services type multinational corporation, MNC, are avoiding taxes. 3. France has implemented tax on large technology companies called GAFA tax, Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, from the 1st of January, 2019. Other nations also doing similar. 4. FAQ, what is the difference between tax, duty, levy, equals if you get selected in IIS, Indian Revenue Service, they'll teach you in training. Raised hand not imp here. Hashtag. 5. FAQ, what is onshore, offshore safe harbor regime? Raised hand not important related terms, global minimum tax, DTAA, GAAR, home etc. in Pillar #2B. Black question mark ornament MCQ. With reference to India's decision to levy an equalization tax of 6% on online advertisement services offered by non-resident entities, find correct statements. Pre-2018, 1. It is introduced as a part of the Income Tax Act. 2. Non-resident entities that offer advertisement services in India can claim a tax credit in their home country under the double taxation avoidance agreements. Answer codes, A, 1 only B, 2 only C, both 1 and 2D, neither 1 nor 2. 21.5, minimum alternate tax, MAT. Some industrialists make profit, but use tax deduction, exemptions, depreciations, and accounting tricks to show 0 Indian rupees taxable income to escape paying corporation tax. So, Budget 1996, Chidambaram, introduced 18.5% MAT on book profit of such zero tax companies, using a different type of formula. What was the formula? Not important. Bat. Modi Gov black down pointing double triangle reduced MAT from 18.5% 15%. 21.6, Cooperative Societies, Alternative Minimum Tax, AMT. Cooperative Societies. Formed by minimum 10 persons and registered under OA, state laws, if single state cooperative society, or OB, under Union's Multi-State Cooperative Societies, Act 2002. More in Pillar 4A, AGRO, cooperative societies are subjected to 10-20-30% tax on their taxable income, depending on cases or technical conditions, which are not IMP for IAS exam. But, using loopholes in the tax deductions, some cooperative societies may show their taxable income is zero. Such zero-tax cooperative societies may be subjected to alternate minimum tax, AMT, similar to how zero-tax companies are subjected to MAT, Budget 2022 black down pointing double triangle AMT from 18.5% 15%. FAQ, if it is showing zero taxable income, then how can we complete the tax on it? ANS. I am done teaching the one-liner GK for exam. Beyond that you may feel free to do PhD and Chartered Accountant Guru from https://www.incometaxindia.gov.in/tutorials/10.mat-and-amt.pdf. https://www.incometaxindia.gov.in. 1997. FM Chidambaram started to levy DDT on a shareholder's dividend income. In reality, company, equal source, will cut that much portion from shareholder's dividend and directly deposit that to the Gov as DDT. Shareholder did not have to pay income tax on it. DDT rate, 15% plus cess plus surcharge equals 20.56% on dividend paid. 2020, abolish DDT. But dividend will be taxable in the hands of shareholder, i.e. he'll pay income tax on it. Benefits. Previously, even lower middle-class shareholders till the 20% dividend was cut in the name of DDT. But now he may have to pay barely 0 to 5% income tax on income from dividend. Thus, shareholders get to keep more for spending shopping spree demand, production, economic growth. Batch, PC 21.8, buyback tax. Profit-making companies sometimes repurchase their own shares back from shareholders. Impact. These many shares are extinguished from company's liability side. Benefit to company. No need to pay dividend on these shares in future plus other benefits that are in for chartered accountant exam, but not for IAS exam, so we will not waste time. Companies need to pay 20% buyback tax to Gov when company buys back its own shares from the shareholders. FAQ. Is it compulsory for shareholder to give his shares back in such buyback? ANS. No, it is not compulsory. It depends on shareholders' wish. E.g. 2022 March, Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, share was trading at 3,700 Indian rupees in secondary market. Company made offer to shareholders that will buy back every 13 shares out of 50 shares at 4,500 Indian rupees. So if any shareholder wanted to make profit, he could accept this buyback offer. Batch, PCB7, Mrunal's. However, some people form shell companies abroad and do transactions from there to avoid paying taxes to India. More in pillar #2B, black money. 4 shell companies, DTAA, GAAR, round tripping, angel tax, etc. Budget 2020 and 2021. Some minor technical updates. Not IMP. Budget 2022, Bitcoin, NFT, and other virtual digital assets, VDA profit PE 30% CGT. Trade or transfer PE 1% TDS, refer to pillar 1, 1A1 about cryptocurrency theory. 21.9.1, Bitcoin profit PE 30% tax and transfer PE 1% TDS in Budget 2022. Budget 2022 announced 30% capital gain tax, CGT, on income from virtual digital assets such as cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, non-fungible tokens, NFT, etc., 30%. More in pillar #2A, budget taxation. Thus, while crypto trading is not illegal at present, but the Indian Gov does not want to encourage it. That's why such a high level of taxation, similar to 30% tax on winnings casino gambling, lottery or horse race betting. Batch, PCB7. Two 1.9.2. Bitcoin purchase PE 1% TDS in Budget 2022. Budget 2022, 1% tax deducted at source, TDS, on buying a virtual digital asset, VDA, such as Bitcoin, NFT, etc., to trace the money trail of tax evasion. More in pillar #2A. Challenge or criticism. Difficult to trace if buyer seller doing transactions using crypto wallets that are not linked with PAN bank accounts. TDS. TDS. FAQ. I 500 types of doubts about TDS for transaction above 10,000 Indian rupees from the 1st of July provision in Budget 2022. ANS. Not important for exam. PLZ consult your chartered account if facing real-life tax problems. Batch, PCB7, black question mark ornament MCQ, in which of the following circumstances may capital gains arise? Prelims 2012, 1. When there is an increase in the sales of a product. 2. When there is a natural increase in the value of the property owned. 3. When you purchase a painting and there is a growth in its value due to increase in its popularity. Answer codes, A, 1 only, B, 2 and 3 only, C, 2 only, D, 1, 2 and 3. 21.10, income tax on individuals. James Wilson, financial member of the Council of India, founder of The Economist magazine, and Standard Chartered Bank, introduced income tax in India on the 24th of July, 1860 to compensate the British losses during 1857 Sepoy Mutiny. So, the 24th of July is celebrated as Income Tax Day, Arkar Diwas. Suppose the gross income of an Indian resident, age less than 60, is 9 Indian rupees lakhs. Out of this gross income, first we have to Subtract the tax deductions and tax exemptions, like income from agriculture, investments made in Provident Fund, NPS, LIC, medical insurance, etc., up to a certain limit, house rent allowance, HIA, repayment of home education loan, money donated in eligible charitable fund sec. Budget 2019, additional tax deduction, given. If took loans to buy electric vehicle. If a taking home loan for the first time. Budget 2021 extended this scheme till the 31st of March, 2022. Atmanirbhar 2020, first-time home buyers of home up to 2 crore rupees will get income tax relief. How exactly? Associated concepts of circle rate of stamp, duty etc. equals beyond the scope of UPSC MCQs. We'll not waste time. Hashtag Atmanirbhar 2020, if employers, boss, and well-wishers gave up to 10 Indian rupees lakh financial help to a person for corona illness or death, such income will not be counted in his taxable income. Budget 2022, some batch, PCB7, Mrunal's economy. Total taxable income, 5 Indian rupees lakh income tax amount out of that up to 2.5 lakhs 0% from 2, 50, 001 to 5 lakhs equals 2.5 Indian rupees lakhs left 5% of 2.5 lakhs asterisk 12,500. From 5, 0,001 to 10 lakhs equals 5 Indian rupees lakhs 20% of that 5 lakhs not applicable from 10, 0,001 and above 30% of that amount not applicable total income tax 12,500 Indian rupees minus tax rebate of 12,500 Indian rupees if taxable income is up to 5L asterisk asterisk dash minus 12,500 Indian rupees. Total income tax to be paid 0. Surcharge, 10% to 37% surcharge on tax amount, if taxable income, is above 50 Indian rupees lakh 0% of 0% equals 0. Cess, 4% health and education cess on, tax plus surcharge. Before budget 2018, there was only 3% education cess. 4% x 0 plus 0 equals 0. Total payment to IT debt, income tax plus surcharge plus cess 0 asterisk asterisk previously, rebate was 2,500 Indian rupees if taxable income up to 3.5 Indian rupees lakhs, but interim budget 2019 raised it to keep middle class voters happy before general elections. Full budget 2019, no changes in income tax percent rates or slabs, but Nirmala S. justified that rich people need to contribute more for national development, so I'm raising the surcharges on them. Surcharge if taxable income is before full budget 2019 after full budget 2019 more than 50 Indian rupees lakh up to 1 CR 10% unchanged more than 1 crore Indian rupees up to 2 CR 15% unchanged more than 2 crore Indian rupees up to 5 CR 15% 25% more than 5 crore Indian rupees 15% 37% 2019 September. Facing 21.10.1 income tax slabs before budget 2020 before budget 2017 there were 3 tax slabs in income tax 10%, 20%, 30%. After budget 2017, 5%, 20%, 30%. Income tax slabs for senior citizens are slightly relaxed. I.e. age 60 plus, but less than 80 years, up to 3L, 0%, 3-5L, 5%, remaining slabs same as young. Age 80 plus years, up to 5L, 0%, remaining slabs are same as young. That 21.10.2, optional, new slabs for income tax in budget 2020 IF, you give up exemptions and deductions, such as salaried employee standard deduction, HRA, leave travel concession, LTA. Section 80C wall deduction, e.g. investments made in LIC, NPS, etc., up to 1.5 Indian rupees lakh per year, etc. Then you can opt to pay with new, reduced income tax slabs viz. Taxable income per annum, new slab. If you give up deduction and exemptions, old slabs. If you don't give up to 2.5 Indian rupees lakh nil 0% nil 0% greater than 2.5 Indian rupees lakh 5 lakh, meaning from 2, 50, 001 to 5, 000, 5%, but 12500 rebate, so in reality 0 Indian rupees, 5%, but 12500 rebate, so in reality 0 Indian rupees, greater than 5 Indian rupees lakh to 7.5 Indian rupees lakh 10%, 20% greater than 7.5 Indian rupees lakh to 10 Indian rupees lakh 15% greater than 10 Indian rupees lakh to 12.5 Indian rupees lakh 20% greater than 12.5 Indian rupees lakh to 15 Indian rupees lakh 25%, 30% greater than 15 Indian rupees lakh 30% surcharge and cess applicable. Yes, e.g. an employee with annual salary 1.5 lakhs will pay total income tax 1.95 Indian rupees lakh asterisk asterisk 2.73 Indian rupees lakh. Asterisk asterisk it is left to individual's discretion whether he wants to stay in old or new system. But if all people opted for the new slabs, then Gov will hypothetically get 40,000 Indian rupees crore less compared to old system. Technically, called revenue foregone or tax expenditure. Batch, PCB7, Mrunal. But black down arrow income tax paid equals black up arrow disposable income, with people black up pointing double triangle shopping, demand production, economic growth etc. And shopping spree equals Black Arrow indirect tax collection, E.G mobiles equals 18% GST. Currently the Income Tax Act is riddled with various exemptions and deductions. Ordinary people can't understand and have to consult chartered accountants, CA, and investment advisors before filing taxes. Now process is easier. 21.10.3 Income Tax in Budget 2021, Compliance Relief to Senior Citizen. No changes in the income tax slabs. So the previous system of normal slab and optional slab continued. IF senior citizen aged 75 years or older and has only pension and interest income, then he need not file the income tax return form. The paying bank will deduct the necessary tax on their income. Benefit: black down pointing double triangle compliance burden on the senior citizen. 21.10.4 Income Tax in Budget 2022, no changes in slabs. No exam-worthy changes for income taxpayers. 21.11 Direct Tax Code, DTC, Task Force, 2017 to 2019. 2017, Finance Ministry set up this task force under CBDT member Arvind Modi. Later, he retired, so another CBDT member, Akhilesh Ranjan, was made chairman. Task force had noted II's officer, chartered accountant, tax lawyer, corporate consultant tech. While government did not disclose full report in public domain, but according to journalists, it contains following suggestions. 1. Replace the Income Tax Act 1961 with a simpler direct tax code. 2. Reduce the corporation tax further. 3. Tax rates for domestic and foreign companies should be same. This will encourage ease of doing business in India. 4. Give additional tax relief for the startup companies. More in Pillar 4B. 5. Increase the number of tax slabs from present 3, 5%, 20%, 30% to 4, 10%, 20%, 30%, and lastly 35% for super rich earning 2 Indian rupees crore. 6. Abolish dividend distribution tax, DDT, which is actually done in Budget 2020. 7. Set up litigation management unit to look after the tax-related court cases in an efficient manner. Plus many other reforms, but poor cost, benefit chasing them. Hashtag 21.12 Direct Taxes, MISC, Concepts. 1.12.1 Hindu Undivided Family, HUF. A Hindu, Buddhists, Jains, or Sikhs family members can come together, pool their assets and form an HUF under the Income Tax Act. HUF is taxed separately from its members and helps saving taxes due to certain provisions or loopholes of Income Tax Act. How exactly? ANS, not here for CA exam. 21.12.2 Presumptive taxation. Salaried employees can easily compute their taxable income from their annual salary and pay income tax. Companies hire full-time chartered accountants to compute their taxable income and pay corporation tax. CA. But self-employed freelance consultants or professionals such as lawyers, doctors, fashion designers, DJ Walbabu, etc. face difficulty in keeping such account books. So, for above persons, Income Tax Act has presumptive taxation system, i.e. their income or profit is computed as X% of their gross receipts, and on that amount they have to pay income tax, depending on slabs, plus applicable cess and surcharges. To encourage less cash economy, Budget 2017 had given benefits in this presumptive taxation calculation formula if the entrepreneur received payments in cashless format, NEFT, RTGS, check, card, etc. Table 4, raised hand, don't confuse the terms, and at the same time, no need for CA-agri income tax on income other than agri. A direct tax levied by union. Every resident has to pay it on his taxable income. Within that income tax, lawyers, doctors, fashion designers, etc. Self-employed or freelance professionals do calculation of income tax using presumptive taxation professional tax. It is a separate direct tax levied by state government professionals who are not farmers. Constitution says it can't be more than 2,500 Indian rupees per year per person. 21.12.3 Alarm clock advance tax. New financial year starts from the 1st of April, 2019 and ends on the 31st of March, 2020. If everyone paid all of their direct taxes at 11:59 p.m. on the 31st of March, 2020, then government will face money shortage for the whole year till the 31st of March midnight comes. So, advance tax mechanism requires people to pay their income tax and corporation tax in advance installments on quarterly basis, every 3 to 3 months, if their annual tax liability is 10,000 Indian rupees or more. Batch, PCB7, Mrunal's Economy Pillar. 21.12.4 ATMA New Bar Bharat Tax Ordinance 2020. Traditionally, financial year ends at 31 St. March 2020. So, accordingly, people or companies deposit the taxes, fill up the tax return forms, by LIC or PPF or NPS policies, for tax deduction, etc. But, Corona lockdown ordinance extended deadlines to file income tax, TDS, TCS, and GST, etc. to June 2020. .13 Black scissors TDS and TCS to keep track of income payment and reduce opportunities of tax evasion of black money. Government requires TDS, TCS to be collected in certain payments. Who collects it cuts it. From whose payment? TDS tax deducted at source. Buyer of goods or services at investment before making payment to the seller or investor. Examples: university paying salary to employee or professor. Book publisher paying royalty to author. Banker, a bond issuer. Paying interest, company paying dividend to shareholder. Seller's fees, e.g. wedding DJ, a catering waller, employee salary, depositor or lender's interest, shareholders dividend, etc. TCS, tax collected at source. Seller of goods or service, e.g. luxury car showroom owner, foreign currency seller customer, who is buying specified types of goods or services of foreign currency. FAQ, whether TDS or TCS applicable on X thing or not. Raised hand ANS, not important beyond examples given in table. FAQ, can we call TDS and TCS indirect taxes? ANS, raised hand no. They are administrative mechanisms to discourage black money. TDS or TCS are not separate taxes. E.g. TDS that is cut from salary, a dividend, bank interest equals ultimately that TDS goes into the income tax computation of respective employee, a shareholder, a depositor. So TDS is not a separate tax. Batch, 21.14 black scissors tax deducted at source, TDS. Suppose a college pays 10,000 Indian rupees to a freelance visiting faculty. Suppose a bank, a NBFC, a post office pays 10,000 Indian rupees as interest to a depositor, then how to ensure that payment recipient, visiting faculty, reports his income to the tax authorities. Otherwise he could avoid paying taxes. So, Income Tax Act requires such organizations, college, to deduct a portion of the payment at source and deposit it to IT debt, along with PAN card number of the recipient. Then, payment recipient, visiting faculty, will be forced to file his tax return form to unlock his TDS amount. On one side, TDS helps fighting tax evasion, but on the other side, TDS also creates hardship for lower middle class persons, because part of their payment is cut in advance. So, in each budget, Gov will fine-tune the norms. Budget 2019, TDS on cash withdrawal to encourage digital payments. 2% TDS if total cash withdrawn during a financial year exceed 1 crore from a single user. Account in bank or post office. This will encourage digital payments. Agricultural Produce Market Committee, APMC, Mandi traders are exempted from above rule. More about APMC in pillar hashtag 4A. Related. Banking Cash Transaction Tax, BCTT, 2005 to 2009 in pillar hashtag 2B, Black Money Full Budget 2019, TDS. Other measures, while companies are required to cut TDS on almost every payment made to anyone, but from now onwards, even if an individual person is paying larger than 50 Indian rupees lakhs to contractors or professional, he'll have to cut 5% TDS. So tax evasion by real estate brokers, high-profile wedding organizers, etc. can be checked. Budget 2020, 2021, some technical changes. No TIM for exam hashtag budget 2022, 1% TDS on Bitcoin and other virtual digital assets, VDA, S transfer, trade. 21.14.1, Black Scissors, TDS ATMA Nubar Barat reforms whenever salary, contract, professional fees, interest, rent, dividend, commission, brokerage, etc. are paid. The payment giver is required to cut a certain percent of the amount as TDS and deposit to the income tax department. It helps in tracking tax evasion and tax avoidance. These TDS rate percent vary as per nature of payment. It could be 0.5% on some payment, it could be 10% on some payment, etc. FinMinute had black down pointing double triangle TDS percent by 25% compared to their original rates, so as to unlock 50,000 crore Indian rupees in the hands of people. Equals black up pointing double triangle shopping economic revival. TDS 21.14.2 Black Scissors tax collected at source, TCS. If a rockstar buys an SUV car worth 25 Indian rupees lakhs, then it means he must be a rich man. How to ensure he is paying income tax regularly, apart from TDS mechanism. So, the car showroom owner, seller, is required to collect extra 1% from rockstar buyer and deposit to IT debt. Rockstar will have to file tax return to unlock this amount. Does this apply on used cars? ANS, we are not here for CA exam. Indian residents can convert their into foreign currency with the help of RBI authorized forex dealers under RBI's liberalized remittance scheme, LIS. More in Pillar 3. Budget 2020. Authorized forex dealers will have to cut 5% TCS while converting Indian into foreign currency. Similar norms on foreign tour operators. 21.14.3 Tax refund. A person is eligible to receive income tax refund from IT debt if he has paid more tax to the gov than his actual tax liability. E.g., if college deducted 10% TDS from freelance visiting faculty. Payment, but what if he was in 0% or 5% income tax slab? Then, income tax department will refund his money with interest. Similarly, GST refund can be claimed by an entrepreneur from GSTN web portal. ATMA Nubar Bharat FM announced, will issue tax refunds more quickly. So more shopping demand black up pointing double triangle economic revival. 21.15 MISC. Direct taxes, financial transaction taxes. 21.15.1 concept, Tobin tax, a Robin Hood tax. 1970s. Nobel recipient American economist James Tobin proposed a small tax every time currency is converted into another currency, e.g. $2. Such tax will discourage short-term speculative investment and flight of capital from one country to another, equal stabilizing the global economy and currency exchange rates and share market. In India, foreign currency conversion subjected to GST, which is an indirect tax. However, some other nations collect it as direct tax. More in pillar hashtag 3A, 21.15.2 STT, and CTT, Securities Transaction Tax, STT, is levied on the sale and purchase of shares, ETF units, derivatives, and other securities at stock exchanges. Its rate, 0.001% to 2%, varies as per the nature of the securities. Commodities Transaction Tax, CTT, is levied on non-agricultural commodities traded at commodities exchanges. Rate tilde 0.01%. Batch. Table 5, not here for CA exam, hashtag direct tax, by description capital gains tax union gov applicable when any capital asset e.g. home, a share, a bond, a bitcoin is sold at profit by its previous owner. Securities Transaction Tax. Union gov applicable on the selling price of share, bond, and other securities, irrespective of whether seller is making profit or loss. Dividend Distribution Tax. Union gov applicable on the dividend paid by company to a shareholder. Budget 2020 abolish this tax. Stamp duty. State gov applies on value of share, bond, or securities, immovable properties, e.g. building, and certain types of legal agreements, e.g. rent agreement tech, irrespective of whether seller is making profit or loss. 2020, Union Gov amended the Indian Stamp Act 1899 so that the stamp duty rates on share, bonds, securities become uniform across the states. Union collects distributes it to state gov of domicile of the buyer. Corona crisis Union Gov postponed implementation date. Raised hand further operational mechanism, a rules equals poor cost, benefit. Upcoming handouts in pillar number 22A1, white heavy checkmark direct taxes 2A2, indirect taxes, and GST 2B, black money, 15th Finance Commission 2C, subsidies, salaries, revenue expenditure, revenue deficit 2D, disinvestment deficit, FRBM Act, fiscal council, budgeting railway budget, plan non-plan budget, and scheme types etc. Batch, PCB